Am I the asshole for leaving a fake positive pregnancy test in the bedroom to catch my husband's mom snooping?
Oh, shit.
I wonder if
Am I the asshole for banning alcohol from Christmas? Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Am I the asshole for calling my husband unreasonable for canceling the holiday trip just because me and the kids couldn't help him in an emergency? Hey, guys, it's Cesar.
And I'm Carla.
Welcome to another episode of Carla and Cesar's Modern Life.
Episode number 40.
Number 40. Hell yeah. How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah.
Can't believe it's already 40.
Yeah. I'm sorry we're another week, but it's because we've been working on a lot of great things that you probably will have already seen because we released those before.
Mm-hmm.
But we're back here and we're trying to do it.
Excited to be back.
Yeah, I think it's good to be in the rhythm, but it's also good to be like, hey, I'd rather not force it. I'd rather push it a little bit, do something different, so then we have stuff to talk about when we get to the podcast.
Yeah. So we don't end up resenting it.
yeah, like, oh shit. And I think as long as we're posting stuff on the channel, and people can keep up with us like that too. So if you have not followed us right away, we should tell you to do that right now.
Yes, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Mm-hmm. Do all the things because you love us.
Yeah, we're going to keep doing the podcast, obviously, very often, but we're also going to be doing a lot more reactions and reviews of stuff. So it's always going to be something new on there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, follow us. All right. Yeah, let's get into our weekly recap of things. You want to start? How's your week been?
My week's been good. I've been working. Today's my second day off in a row.
Nice.
It's on the actual weekend, so it's nice.
Same here too, by the way.
Yeah. Today was my favorite day so far because of the rain. We woke up to loud ass rain, and it was so nice.
It was heavy.
So cozy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just felt good to be home, and then we got a lot of today, especially we got a lot of organizing done. Mm-hmm. Now that I've worked at a clothing store, I have an idea of how to organize a little bit of clothes. There
you go.
Well, the thing that I learned was that you have to button up the shirts 3 buttons for it to hold on the hanger.
Oh, okay. And so you hadn't been doing that before?
No, just throwing shit in there, and they would be like, "Why is it falling off?" So yeah, today was a good day.
Your closet looks really nice now.
Yeah.
Good job. Do mine next.
So then you did some stuff this week, right?
Yes, this week I went to Improv. Finally went back after not participating for at least 3 or 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. I had been scared, I think, and so I had been I always find reasons to not go. But this week I felt good about it, and I found myself really catching it as soon as I started getting in my head. Mm-hmm. And I was able to reel it back in and just come back to the present. And that really helped with easing my nerves about it.
That's good.
So yeah, I participated, and
you told me some of the skits too. You had a good time with them. Mm-hmm. You don't have to say them verbatim, but yeah, you took some risks.
I did, and they paid off. And the teacher is the specific one. He always has really good feedback. Mm-hmm. And because I was able to stay calm, I was able to implement his advice right away. And it was like I said, it paid off, and he had good feedback for me, and I don't know, I felt really good about myself. And it's just crazy because I can see the difference between being in my head versus not. Because even on the same day, there were moments where I was in my head and in certain times, and that's when I overthought things. So it's really cool to see
to let yourself go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and the teacher was saying that the only way to get better is to go watch shows, go participate in as many drop-ins as possible. And he even said that it's a good idea to get your own group together, because once you start to get to know your scene partners, you're able to know vibe off of each other and do things that only based on
because you create a flow with somebody.
And each other's buttons to push and things like that. And so that sounds really cool to me. So I'm getting more serious about contemplating taking classes, if not improv, acting. And yeah,
nice.
I'm excited about that.
And you have the ability in your schedule to add that once a week.
Totally.
Good. Yeah. One of the things that I actually, when you were talking about it right now, I thought of was the idea of like having like a sharp mind. Like it's not something that I think it's something you can probably train, right? Like to think a little bit faster. I don't know. Like I was just contemplating, like, is that something? But like you watch shows that have like improv where you have to think fast. You have to kind of keep up with their jokes too.
Yeah.
So at the same time, that is kind of flexing like that muscle by going to these shows, because you have to keep up with what's going on in front of you too.
Yeah.
And
like be totally present.
And that's tough, because how do you practice being witty quickly?
I think you don't think about it.
Yeah, but you have to think of funny things to say.
That's true. That's the hard part for me too. Because I'm like, I wonder, like I find myself wondering, like, am I even funny? Because I feel like I can make people laugh by like the faces that I make and like the way I say things, not necessarily what I'm saying. And I don't know if that's like me over analyzing it or not, but
I think it's all combined. Like you can't.
But like you think I'm funny, so like I know that it can come out of me. I just don't know how to like you're saying, like how do you think of something super quick?
Yeah, and I think it's like the first thing that comes to mind that you think is funny in your head, and then don't think about whether anybody else is going to find it funny.
Yeah,
because you have to. I guess that's about trusting yourself. That sense of humor.
Yeah.
And then you I don't know, like obviously because I haven't done it, but isn't it like, because you already have those guidelines of like, okay, I'm not gonna ask them a question, I'm gonna say something to continue this, like the yes anding thing. So you already have like a basis. Now it's like, hey, now you have to make it funny on top of it, but kind of like this has to go somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when it gets hard for me to not think. There's so many ways you can go about it, and I think that's where the teacher plays a big role. And like they all have their own style, and this particular one has like a lot of feedback and a lot of like reasons why things work versus don't work. And so I think it's a matter of practicing and like just continuing to like sharpen your mind, like you were saying.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, you are funny, and it's just a matter of like honing in that, like that. Like when I had to do writing for school, like script writing, it was like honing that into the characters, like like what is funny about them and what can I bring to the table in that sense. So it's like, it's comedy is like, it's so interesting because there's so many different facets to it. Like yours is like thinking on your feet. And then like when I was doing it, it was more like sitting there writing it. And I think the one that you're doing is harder because it's like, but it makes you feel so comfortable in other areas. Cause like once you can do improv, you're like, well, whatever, talking in public is so easy because I don't have to be funny.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Whenever you want to go with me, let me know.
Now I'm thinking about it.
I also found myself like thinking about it for a second before, like if it was my turn to like initiate a scene, I took a second to think about it before I said anything. And that probably would normally not be ideal, like in an actual improv show where people are paying to go watch you. But I feel like doing that for a second allowed me to be like, to commit to a character. And I think once that's like a big part of it too, is like committing to like what you're doing and having like a relationship with the other person already. So like I think that's like not a requirement, but it just makes it better if you just like play off of each other and assume a relationship and go off of that. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we hope. Let us know when you're actually going to do a show, and then we'll let the audience know and everybody can go see you.
Sounds good. Probably won't be for a little while, but I'm down. But yeah, speaking of being present, I feel like in general, I'm just trying to embody that like more in general in my life. And it's harder than it sounds for me personally, because I feel like for so long, like I've lived in my mind, and like, you know, like your mind is going to tell you all sorts of stories, and like that's how things get perpetuated. Like that's how you repeat cycles. And I did not know this until like, I feel like I knew it, but I hadn't like really realized like how important it is to be present and just not basically like not letting yourself be like ruled by your mind. And so it's hard, but I see like how it's paying off. And at some point, like a couple weeks ago, I listened to this meditation by Eckhart Tolle from his book, The Power of Now. And ever since then, like that was the first time I was really able to like sit there in meditation and like actually like feel in my body like what he was describing. And it was like just being aware still of my surroundings, but like having part of my attention on myself. And so I've been catching myself like tuning into more of that and like what's going on in my body, like in terms of like feelings, emotions, and just in general, like I feel like there's like a frequency that your body has that I didn't realize like I hadn't felt until now. And so it's pretty cool. And I highly recommend it. Yeah. And I hope that eventually I can just always like be in this moment without having to like bring myself back. Like I'll catch myself like being in my mind and then I'll have to like come back. And I guess it's just practice.
No, it happens to me all the time. And then it is because you find yourself like thinking about stuff that you're like, hey, no, like
worried about stuff.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't like, there's nothing you can do about it right now.
Like in my head, I'm 3 months ahead of time in the same situation with nothing changed. And I'm like, oh my God, like what happened?
Yeah.
It's like, but you're here, you could still, you're working towards preventing whatever you're worried about. So why are you worried about about it?
And when have you had to actually worry about like something going down? Like you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess sometimes it's more comfortable to be in that state of like, not comfortable, but like it's what you're used to.
It's just what you're used to.
Yeah. Being in the present is so different because it's like, well, because I don't know. I feel like for me, it's like not punishing thing. Yeah, it is like, why are you enjoying this right now? You should be worried about this other thing that you're not taking care of. Like it's more about like that, where it's like
a guilt thing.
A guilt thing where you don't want to give yourself that moment to be happy because you should be focused on working on this or making sure you're gonna get this paid. But it's like you have the moment because the moment's only gonna like that's how I feel sometimes too.
Like, it's the only thing that's real.
Yeah,
is like this moment.
That's how I felt, like not even like with real stresses in life, like financial stuff, but like with work sometimes, like editing something, I'm like, oh man, I should be editing this, and it's like, but today you can not do it and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And then it's fine, you know? Yeah, but it's hard to like always think like that.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's about practicing and then hopefully you don't even have to worry about it anymore.
Right. Hopefully it becomes second nature.
I hope so.
But yeah, what about your week?
My week, well, I didn't have much. I just wanted to say that I've been working on that specifically too. And then I think positive affirmations for me have been working as well. Instead of like, because I have always attracted the idea of like, oh, I'm going to be late. I'm not going to find parking. And then you don't find parking. But then now I'm like, I'm not going to be late. It's going to work out. I'll be there. It's fine. And then it always does.
Yeah.
And I've been like, just good because now that I have a job and it's never been easy for me to be on time to things, like even when I really want to. So now it's like getting into the practice again of like being there on time.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because I mean, even when I'm excited about the Rodriguez show, like sometimes we're late. I'm late, and I'm like, oh shit, like what happened? And then it's not the lack of caring. It's just time flies. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think you're addressing that by like what you did today and like organizing. I think that's gonna help you because you're gonna like spend less time looking for things maybe, and then that's all part of it too.
All right, so you ready to get into the scenarios? All right, let's do it. You want to do the first one?
Sure. Am I the asshole for leaving a fake positive pregnancy test in the bedroom to catch my husband's mom snooping?
Oh, shit.
I wonder if this is the lady from last week.
From the always walking in on the bathroom?
It's developed. My mother-in-law moved in with us a month ago. I began to notice my stuff in the bedroom being touched, furniture rearranging, stuff being moved, etc. I felt like I was going crazy because my husband is the only one who has access to the bedroom and he doesn't usually touch nor come near my things. I figured it must be his mom walking in and snooping on my personal things. I told my husband and he said his mom would never. I had a huge hunch but couldn't install a camera in the bedroom to catch her in the act. So I got me one of those fake positive pregnancy tests and threw it in the bedroom's trash can. Note, the trash can was placed in the corner near the closet. Literally the next day after I got to work, I got tons of calls and texts from my in-laws congratulating me on my pregnancy.
Oh, shit.
My husband came over to my workplace and was all worked up about it, asking since when I was pregnant and why I didn't tell him. I asked how he found out, and he said his mom found the positive test in the trash can in the bedroom. I asked if his answer just confirmed that she's been snooping in the bedroom all along. He had a realization moment, but demanded we stick to the bigger issue. I said there was no bigger issue because the positive test was a fake and this whole thing was done to expose my mother-in-law snooping. He was not convinced. He had me take an actual test right in front of him, and he was livid, asking how could I lie about such a thing and break his mom's heart, since I know very well that she longs for kids. I got a lot of shit because of this from him and his mom and family, now calling me a liar and a manipulator. Am I the asshole?
Oh, wow. So they put it on her? She's a liar and the manipulator? Meanwhile, homegirl's digging through the trash over here? What the heck?
Seriously, invading people's privacy, and that's just so wrong. And then, like, sharing the news.
Yeah, even if she was pregnant, like, you think it's
That's
cool to be like,
up,
yo,
yeah.
everybody. What the heck? So very clearly not the asshole on this one.
Right.
But what a jerk the mother-in-law is. Oh my God. What?
Yeah, seriously. And also the husband, like, why did he not believe his wife? Like, why would she lie about that? And what's wrong with people, like, walking in and, like, making themselves at home like that? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's not cool at all. Damn.
Second week in a row. I feel like it's a common theme. And, like, that would just, I don't know, I feel really lucky that we have good relationships with our in-laws.
Yeah, that they wouldn't stoop to doing things like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely not the asshole, and I think you should reconsider all this, because even the husband making you take a test right in front of him was kind of weird.
That he didn't believe her.
He didn't believe her.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that's weird.
Just yeah, like, what's going on? Maybe that needs to be addressed too. You're right.
True. So yeah, not the asshole. You want me to read the next one? Am I the asshole for banning alcohol from Christmas? Oh shit.
Oh no.
My husband's family likes to drink. Every holiday includes multiple bottles of wine / cocktails. I hate drinking. I've never drank. My father was an alcoholic. I think it's childish if you can't have fun without drinking. This year I'm hosting Christmas for a chain and decided it's my house, no alcohol allowed, and we're all getting older and it's time to grow up. My husband's sister called to ask what she could bring. She saw a recipe for a Christmas martini that she wanted to bring. I told her about my no alcohol rule. She didn't say much, but she must have told the rest of the family. Some of them started texting me asking if I was serious and saying that it was lame, but I'm not budging. Now it turns out my husband's sister's hosting an alternative get-together. Almost everyone is going to instead. It's all so disrespectful, all because they would have to spend one day sober. My husband told me he talked to his sister and we are invited to her gathering, and he said just to go and stop causing issues but I won't. It's so rude. Now my husband is mad because I'm making him stay home and spend Christmas with me, but it was my turn to host and I choose to have no alcohol, and they have to deal with it for a year.
Jeez.
Dang.
Or not, exactly. Your party.
Guess what happened? They did it without you.
Like, I understand, like, wanting to be, like, above it, like drinking or whatever, but, like, not everyone drinks, like, for the same reasons you do or don't.
Yeah.
And so, like, why would you assume that everyone needs to grow up or whatever you think?
Yeah, like, people can drink and it doesn't have to be a cause of maturity or not. They just want to have a good time. And
yeah,
like,
and it's a holiday.
If you're going to be sober, that's fine for you, but you don't have to make everybody else do that shit. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's her house, so her house, her rules, right? But I mean, even her husband's not cool with it either. So,
like, it's fine if you want to do that, but, like, don't be shocked when people are going to go do their own thing. And, like
laced in judgment that they're like, oh yeah, we're grown up, we should get over that. And it's like, it's not a grown up thing. It's just whether you do it or not.
Yeah. So I say you're the asshole for Well, I don't know, like, good for you, I guess, for having those boundaries. Like, maybe you're not an asshole, but like, don't be an asshole about judging people that do want to drink, because I feel like people that do drink like on holidays is because like it's a celebration, and like, I don't know, like if drinking is part of celebrating for you, like why shouldn't you be able to do that?
Exactly. I agree with that. And I think, like if you're going to be that intrusive into people's Christmas, then maybe they don't want to celebrate with you, and that's it. So asshole. Am I the asshole for calling my husband unreasonable for canceling the holiday trip just because me and the kids couldn't help him in an emergency? Oh. My husband and I have been together 4 years. I have 2 kids, a 17-year-old guy and a 19-year-old girl, and their half-brother is 3 years old. This past week, my husband had an emergency. His dad had a medical emergency and wanted somebody to watch our son. He asked my older son, and he refused because he was going out with friends. He also asked my daughter, but she locked herself in a room to study. I was at a restaurant with my brother meeting his girlfriend for the first time. My husband ended up taking our son with him to the hospital, and his mom watched him from there. He came home and was lashing out at everybody, calling us selfish and unfeeling. I tried to explain that the kids were busy, but he told me to get the F out with that bull because my older son could have skipped the hangout and watched his brother. My daughter could have watched her brother while studying instead of locking herself in a room. He scolded me as well, but I told him I couldn't leave lunch with my brother since he was visiting town and this was my only chance to meet his girlfriend. He yelled some more, then told us he was canceling the family holiday trip to Christmas this year. The 2 older kids were upset and said it was unfair. I called him unreasonable to cancel the trip and punish the kids and possibly me like that. He refused to discuss it later. Now me and the kids aren't speaking to him, and he's saying good riddance.
Oh, dang. So she canceled the holiday, or he did?
He canceled it because he was saying, you guys can't even help me out during an emergency, so I'm going to cancel your trip.
So she's wondering if she's the jerk for calling the husband unreasonable.
Was it unreasonable for her to do that? For him?
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like one of the older kids could have watched the kid, but that's not something they normally do, so maybe they wouldn't be comfortable with it.
But it's an emergency situation.
It is an emergency.
And it's not like one of them, like, he didn't have to hang out with his friends, or he could have delayed it, and then the daughter was home anyway, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I think if it was like, hey, I have to go, if the dad was like, oh, I'm going to go hang out with my friends, I need you to take care of your little brother, then it's not like that. But if it was an emergency, like, how come nobody can step up?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't anybody? Yeah, exactly. Anybody. Like, anybody that they described was too busy could have helped. Like, even like, hey, it's the only chance. Like, the only chance you're ever going to meet your brother's girlfriend ever?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like...
That's true.
Your husband's dad had a medical emergency, and you're like, oh, sorry.
Dang, yeah, that is messed up. So I think she is a jerk for saying he's unreasonable, because I feel like he has every right. Yeah,
I'd be upset too. Like,
yeah,
you're a family, you're supposed to help each other out, and this is this time where you step up. That's what family does. Like, it's not like, oh, like they were out of town or they were incapacitated themselves. Like, it was just like, oh no, I don't know how to take care of a 3-year-old in an emergency. Yeah. Like, what?
And like, how can you not understand somebody wanting to be there for their dad?
Because they don't want to be there for their stepdad, but still.
Yeah.
Dang. So is he unreasonable for canceling the trip?
I don't think so.
No, right?
Because where his head's at, like, he's thinking, like, saying these people don't really care about me and my son. Like,
or my dad.
Why don't I spend time with them?
Yeah. So,
yeah, that would just be awkward, probably. So I don't blame him.
Yeah, and the kids they're young enough to know that they can, a 17-year-old male and a 19-year-old female, like, why were they even given the choice to say yes or no to that? Just be like, you're watching your little brother. What the fuck? Like, what? This is literally your brother. Like, maybe he's not your dad and you're upset about that, but it's your brother. Help him help. Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah.
Bunch of spoiled kids.
Dang. So those were interesting.
Yeah. I think so. There's some great ones. Thank you for picking those out.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So that was it for this week. How do you feel?
Feel good?
Yeah. All right. We're going to say goodbye for now. We'll be back with more soon. Follow us on Instagram. You can follow me at I am Cesar Rod. Where can they follow you?
Also on Instagram at CarlelaRod89.
Nice. And then my other show at The Rodriguez Show, where you can watch the recent documentary that we made. And you can follow me at Cesar Rod Podcast and Video. Or if you want me to produce your podcast, I can do audio and video. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Remember to take care of yourself and each other.
Thank you guys for watching. Bye.